Okay, everybody see that? Everybody see my cursor flashing on the screen?
Yes.
Red cursor, good. Okay, so quick recap then. Well, everybody can see that's me. And of course, the important thing is my email address at the bottom, which you can also see next to my name in parentheses. It's got an underscore, which is weird. If you haven't got the notes, just send me an email at that address and I will send you a copy of the notes if you don't already have it. Okay, so let's look at it. I'm going to skip way ahead today. Get ahead of all this. So remember this article, this advice, Sun Tzu, know yourself, know your enemy. Right. So we've spoken a little bit about knowing yourself. And the issues of knowing yourself is we think we don't know anything. You know, I always hear from my students, well, I don't understand that, but I'll ask my grandson or the 14-year-old kid who lives next door. We actually know a lot more than we think, right? And in fact, when it comes to security, most of these young kids don't know anything. So a lot of what I'm teaching you, what I've taught over the last couple of weeks, they don't know, right, about how all this bad stuff happens. So know yourself is that you know more than you think. Secondly, that you know your strengths are also your weaknesses. Our strengths are we're nice people, we obey authority, we're polite, all that good stuff. The bad guys know that, and they're going to use that against you, right? The fact that you're polite means that you know you may answer the phone, and then they'll start talking, and we're too polite to say get lost or use stronger language. So we carry on listening, and eventually they, you know, with their fishing rod, they reel us in. We obey authority. So if we get emails or something from Microsoft or the IRS or the bank or whatever, we say, oh my God, you know, I've got to do something about this. There's a problem, again, that they're using against us. The issues with your enemy is, why is he tackling us? Why are these guys potentially on the internet going after us, common or garden, ordinary seniors? You know, we're not billionaires, we're not Bill Gates, we're not the president of the United States, we don't work for the federal government, most of us. I mean, we're retired. Why would they be going after us?
We have money.
We got some money, right? Now, people often say to me, well, I haven't got so much money, I'm retired, you know. Well, like I said, always the bad example is if you've got $1,000 in your bank account, they'll take it. If you've got 10 million in your bank account, they'll be more than happy to take it. Whatever you got, they're going to go after you. So they've got all kinds of tricks of the trade. I've told you examples of people who've lost thousands of dollars that I've been directly involved with. These guys are just bad. I just read the other day that, you know, with this last stimulus that was sent out, well, they didn't do a lot of, thank God, thank heavens for our federal government. They're really organized. They didn't do a lot of checking. And it turns out that tens of millions of dollars was claimed by scammers, people in other countries who sent in scam claims to say, I'm 75 years old and retired, or I'm 32 years old and I lost my job and I got 3 kids, and they sent them money. So we don't know how much, but it's certainly in the tens of millions of dollars that went to, fake addresses and so on. So, we need to be aware of that all the time. So I've spoken about all of this stuff. I want to get across to the back to where we were talking about emails. Okay, you remember that? It's also said, to summarize again, we don't answer the phone if you don't recognize the number. Literally make that your rule. If you don't recognize the number, don't answer the cell phone. Because if it's a real person, if it's me calling you or your doctor, some new doctor or somebody, they will leave a message, right? Also, if people leave a message, even if they do, and they say, hey, this is, the IRS calling, call us back on, 512-666-7777, don't ever call that number. Because if you didn't recognize the first number, then you don't know whether the second number is a valid one. And if you call that number, somebody will answer the phone and say, this is the IRS, or this is Bank of America, or whatever. But it's a phony. It's some guy sitting in in an internet cafe in Nigeria or Afghanistan or South Africa or somewhere, some kind of scammer. So if even if somebody leaves a message that says, hey, this is, Dr. Jones, I say, I don't know any Dr. Jones. then go and look it up. Or if it says, they say it's your bank, go and check online. What's the number of your bank? It'll be an 800 number probably. I got one the other day that told me something wrong with my social security number. Call this number, and it was a 512 or something number. Well, obviously right away I would know that that's not the social security because they have an 800 number, right? So be very, very, very skeptical about numbers and calls and so on. Rather, don't answer the call and miss it than take the chance that they're going to get into your pocketbook, which is what they want to do. Remember I said Warren Buffett's advice, look around the poker table. If you can't see the sucker, you're it. Well, in most cases on the internet, that's us, because everything on the internet is pretty much for free, right? How much do you pay for Gmail? Nothing. How much do you pay to do an inquiry on Google? Nothing. How much do you pay to browse the internet, to go to, wherever you want to go on the internet, to read books or anything like that? Nothing. Well, if it's all free, they got to pay for it somehow or another. And as I said last time, what is Google selling? Does Google sell email? No.
Yeah.
They don't. How much do you pay for your Gmail?
Oh, they sell my information.
Yeah, they are selling you, right? We are not the customers of Google and Apple and all those guys. We are the product, right? They're selling us. So your information, and it's perfectly legal. Google doesn't intend to come and steal your money or anything like that. They're selling it quite legally to companies who want to advertise to you. So Google makes its billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars out of advertising. I was around when Google started, right back in the late 90s. And if you said to me, this company, all they do is they have a search engine that allows you to search the internet. This is going to be a multi-billion-dollar company. I would have told you that you're smoking funny cigarettes, right? How can you be a multi-billion-dollar company when all you do is search the internet? But what I didn't know, because I'm too naive, is that behind all of that is advertising. And so, like I said, if I needed a list of people of a certain age group or certain sex living in a certain area of a certain economic status because of my business, and I want to sell them stuff, I go to Google or Amazon or any of those guys, and I say, I would like to buy an address list of people, phone numbers, email addresses, and so on, of people in Sandy Springs or whatever, in this, in this economic class category, whatever. If it's, selling women's shoes, I want a list of ladies. If I'm selling tools, right, it's Home Depot. Home Depot would say, I'd like a list of guys in the age group 25 to 45, because those are the guys who work on their house on the weekend. Give me a list of all those guys in this economic status that earn, in this range of money and that live in these 4 zip codes or the whole of the city of Atlanta, right? Because Home Depot is having a sale and they'd like to send me an email saying, hey, Jeff, we're having a sale on lawnmowers. Come and buy my lawnmower from us. They get 10,000 names from Google for a price. They send them all out. If even only 20 people come in and buy a lawnmower, they've paid for the cost of that information. And it's happening not only every day, it's happening right now, this very second. Google and Amazon and all the rest of them are running auctions all the time. So right now, there is an auction going on, right? Where Google has put out something and you need to know where to go get it. And they say, we have this list of 10,000 names. How much would you like to bid on that? And I bid, 20 cents a name. You come in and you bid 25 cents. Another guy bills 40 cents and they sell it to the guy at 40 cents a name. 1,000 names, 40 cents a name, $400, ka-ching, ka-ching. And he gets the list of emails, but I don't because I lost out on the auction. Or maybe I won the auction and I get the list and I can start sending out my emails for advertising. So like I say, if you don't know the sucker, you're it. In most cases on the internet, people don't know that they're the sucker. How many people know that actually Microsoft, Google, Apple, Amazon, all of them are selling us, right? They're selling access to us. So we went then on to emails, okay? And remember, we got this far. I showed you this interesting spam box of mine. What did we notice about this, range of junk? And this is real. I didn't edit it in any way at all, right? I just copied it. It's not the whole thing. It goes on for another couple of pages, but that's enough. what did we see here that was interesting? That normally, if you read the subject on in the right column, you know, motion activated LED, you can get up to $5,000, blah, 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 blah. You may or may not realize it's junk. But what did we see by looking in the left column? This column here, right?
Yeah.
What did we see?
A lot of different names with the same address.
You see the same email address. Well, this is what we call the domain, where it comes from, right? Normally the domain is the company name, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, whatever, but it can be anything. But yes, you know, this domain is cronjob.org. What is ORG, by the way? Does anybody know?
Organization.
It's an organization, so it's not a company. Usually an organization is something like a not-for-profit, right?
Right.
The ASPCA might be aspca.org, something like that, as opposed to a company which is .com, or the government which is .gov, or a university is .edu. So those three letters. So this doesn't mean anything. But the interesting fact is, notice the same cron job name all the way down. So this is one hell of a company, this cronjob.org, right? They do everything. They lend money, and they will say they'll help me to lose weight, and they'll give me a quote on Windows and so on. Of course, it's all absolute garbage, right? It's all junk. They want you to open this email and then click on a link, right? Okay, so first question is, I want to ask you, can I open these emails? So I get this email right here. It says Terminix Pest Control, right? Blah, blah, blah. Can I open this email? Or is that dangerous?
Can you open it?
Yeah, can I open it?
You
Yes.
open it.
Yes, the answer is yes. Unlike the phone, which I say don't answer, because on the end of the line, as soon as you pick it up, there's a dude there, right? And some of them are even women, but most of them are guys. And that guy is a trained psychologist expert. He will get into your mind. Take it from me. They're experts, right? But with an email, it's different. When you open it, all you do is you're asking the operating system to open it up so you can see it, right? So that's safe. But do not ever, what?
Reply.
Why am I doing this?
Do not ever click. Do not ever
Don't ever click, right, on anything in the email. Because once you click on a link, what happens to that? What happens to you? Well, that
Your
link
information goes.
automatically takes you to somewhere on the internet, right? Now, what did your mommy say to you when you were a little girl? And what did she say about taking a ride with a nice man in his car, right?
Don't get in the car.
Don't get in the car. Why not? What's wrong with getting in the car? He's a nice man. He's giving me a candy. He's giving me a lollipop, right? He says he's going to take me to. He's going to take you to school. What's wrong with that? Well, we know that ain't going to happen, right?
Right.
In fact, whatever is going to happen in the car, you are probably not going to like it, right? It's not going to turn out right. Same here. When you click on that link, you've got in his car. And he's locked the doors and he's driving somewhere. And you, in fact, of course, with the internet, it's not just that he's driving down the road. You have now landed on his website in Russia, Nigeria, Afghanistan, God knows where, right? And from that moment on, he may own you. He may own your computer, right?
So, Jeff,
yes, ma'am.
If this is a just garbage email, how do I get a virus on the computer? By clicking on the link then?
Yes. Okay. When you click on the link, you go to his website.
And
right?
that's how I got
now that website, very often they build fake websites. The website, let's say your email comes from your bank, right? SunTrust Bank. Our bank was SunTrust Bank. I get an email that says, this is SunTrust Bank. There's a problem with your account. We need to fix it for you. Click here. So I click here and I go to a site on the internet. What am I going to see, do you think, when I click on that link? What am I going to see? I'll see a web screen, a screen that looks exactly like what?
SunTrust.
SunTrust Bank. Now, It is trivially simple to copy the information off the internet. They'll copy it off with the logo of the bank and the address of it'll look exactly like your bank. And what's it going to say there? Well, it'll say this is SunTrust Bank, and there'll be two holes in it, two places for you to type your account number and your account number and
your
password. So you type in your account number and password because you're logging on to SunTrust Bank or whatever. And do you really think you're logging on to SunTrust Bank? No. Basically, that information you just typed in is going to go straight to them. And now they know, what have you told them? A, that you are a customer of Bank of America or SunTrust Bank or Wachovia Bank or whatever. And B, your account number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and your password is ABCDXYZ. Well, within 15 minutes, what's going to happen? Probably within 5 minutes, what's going to happen? While you are on this website, they may give you some bogus information and you're reading it and that, what's happening?
And well, they'll clean you out, I guess.
Somebody, the other guy, so one guy maybe is, communicating with you and telling you all this junk, but another guy is already in the account and he's transferring that money to where?
To their account.
Yeah.
Who knows? Afghanistan, China, lots of these land up in China. There are a lot of these where the money is transferred instantly to China or North Korea or something like that, okay? So do not click on the link. Another thing that can happen, and this is to answer your question, Pamela, how do I get a virus on my computer? On some of these sites, as soon as you go to the website, it downloads software onto your computer. It happens so fast, it might take 5-10 seconds, that even if you knew about it, you couldn't stop it, right? Because it's too fast. And that software now is going to sit on your computer and it's going to do bad things. Like it may go through all your name and address list. Because it looks in your email, gets your entire name and address list, and now sends out garbage from your computer. So even if you get an email from me, or your brother, or your husband, or your uncle, or somebody in your family, don't be certain that it is a real, especially if it asks you to do something like click on a link. Because even if you got an email from me, I got one like this the other day from one of my friends, that doesn't mean that I sent it. It means it came from my computer. So the very fact that you get a link from Jeff Kalvarisky, an email, or a link from, some good friend of yours, doesn't mean that it's okay, right? That's the scary part, is that so I got one from a friend that said some blah, 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 click here. That's all it said, blah, 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 some junk, click here. And well, why would my friend be sending me a link? Okay. Don't fall for it. Similarly, if you happen to be on Facebook, which I recommend nobody is anymore, that we should all be on Facebook, happened to someone I know the other day, suddenly gets a request from some old friend from high school, right? I take a look at it, I get asked to take a look at it, and I can tell right away this whole thing's a scam, right? And it was. Okay, so be very careful before you take these actions. If you get an email from me that says, click on this link because of, whatever, some BS, what should you do? Tell me what you should do. You get an email, it's from my email address, and it says, hi, with your name, some junk, click on this link. What should you do? Came from me, got my email address. Should you click on that link?
No, you should look at the whole
No,
thing.
no, never click on the link. But let's say, you know what, you think, well, maybe it did come from Jeff. How can you be sure?
Oh,
The domain should look correct.
No, the domain is correct. It's got my email
okay.
address, right? Exactly correct. But let's say so don't click on the link, but what should you immediately do? Send me an email, right?
I'll check with you.
From your real address to my real address saying, hey, Jeff, I got this email from you. Did you send it? And I'm going to get it, and I'm almost certainly going to say, hell no, I didn't send it, delete it, right? So Don't be sure that just because you recognize the email address, even if it's from somebody you email with every day, your sister or close friend, it could be that they got hacked. Okay, and that email has gone out to everybody in their address list. So these scheming guys, so to answer your question, Pamela, they'll put software on your computer, which will then send itself out, scam emails from you to everybody in your name and address list, right? Which is really nasty. But like I said, these guys are quite ruthless. Okay, so don't answer it. And if you're not sure, let's say you get an email from the IRS. You haven't paid your taxes. We're sending the police to arrest you and you're going to go to jail for 71 years. What should you do?
Contact.
Well, I don't want to just ignore it. Maybe I am going to go to jail for 71 years, right? What should I do?
Contact the real IRS.
Say again?
Contact the real IRS.
Contact the real IRS. And how do you do that? With your computer, go to www.irs.gov. Look for the phone number. There'll be an 800 number there. Call that number and ask them. Now, it may take them 4 hours. Put you on hold for 4 hours these days, but that's another story, right? Let's say it's the bank. It says it came from your bank, and there's a big problem with your bank account and blah, 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 some whole story. Go online to www.bankofamerica.com or Wachovia or SunTrust or whatever, and there'll be an 800 number, and you call that number and say, did you guys send this email? And they will tell you, we don't send emails like that out. Okay. Now, occasionally I get real emails. I've had real emails from American Express and the bank trying to sell me stuff. And I could tell, as I'm going to show you now, that it was a real email. And I still didn't click on the link. Okay. In other words, if you get an email from your bank saying, hey, we've got this great new deal for you, take out our credit card and we'll give you a free ticket, airline ticket to California. You think, wow, I just got to sign up with the credit card and I get a free airline ticket to California. Don't click on it. Go to the website and see if they're actually having that deal, right? It could be real. They do have nice deals from time to time, but don't believe what you see in an email, ever. Don't believe what you see in an email. Okay, so let's move on here. Let's see. So we spoke about an email, right? That an email had two main parts to it. It has a header at the top, kind of like the address on the outside of an envelope. Anybody remember the old envelope with a stamp on and an address on the outside? Well, this is exactly the same as the outside where you hand wrote the person's name or whatever, and you put a post office stamp on it. So the header says from, who it came from, to, which should be you, subject, some subject to other, and the date. Okay, everybody happy with that? So we spoke about that. And then the second thing it's got is the body of the email, which is the blah, 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 whatever it might be. And that may include links to, like this one here, this blue is the link to an email, to a website, right? So if I click on this blue, usually it's blue and underlined, or it can be hidden in a picture. If I click on that, I will go to this place on the internet, trustedidpremier.com, which in this particular case, I knew actually is a subsidiary of Equifax. But again, just shows you how clueless Equifax is. They're trying to fix up what was the mess they made. You remember when they lost all our information a couple of years ago? They're trying to fix it, and they send me an email with a link in it. Talk about clueless, right? That's like your doctor recommending that you start smoking. You know, if your doctor said it's time to start smoking, you might think, might be time to get a new doctor, right? Same here. This is the guys who are supposed to be protecting my data, and they send me an email with a link in it. Okay. Right, so here's what the from address will always look like, just to revise. It'll have some kind of name in the front. It can be anything. It can be Amazon.com, it can be a person's name. This is anything, doesn't mean anything. It's like, it's like a nickname. Nickname doesn't really mean anything. If I tell you my nickname is, handsome guy, I wish, that doesn't tell you anything about my real name, does it? Okay, I just want you to call me handsome guy or cool dude or something. It's a nickname, ignore it. But what do we have to look for? Remember the two arrow brackets, this one here and that one there. The real email address is between those two. And the email address is composed of three components. In the middle is the @ sign. We know the famous @ sign. To the left of the @ sign is the name of the person or department that sent it to you, right? So here it would say Jeff Galveriski, or it may not even that. My Gmail account may not be Jeff Galveriski. It may be Cool Dude. So even that, you can be sure. But usually when you get an email from a company, in here will say like this, store news, or marketing department, or sales department, or something along those lines. The @ sign, and then the important one is the domain at the back. The domain is something.com, usually. Or in my case, like my email address, earthling.net. It's a variation of .com, right? So here they can't finagle it, right? So if this says Amazon.com, it came from Amazon, because it's not possible for me to open an email address in the name of Amazon.com when I'm not Amazon.com, right? It's registered to them. It's you know, like I can't set up my own business inside Amazon.com's headquarters, right? They won't allow that, right? I got to go get my own offices somewhere else. This is the real one. So very often you'll get this kind of thing. Remember I showed you one? You know, here's a nice one. I get them all the time. Just take a 30-second survey about Amazon. Will give you stuff worth $50. Wow, $50. That's not going to make me or break me $50, but $50 is $50, and it's only going to take me 30 seconds to fill out yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and I like Amazon or I don't like Amazon. Take the survey now. So where is the underlined address? Well, you can actually see it. It's inside this picture. And so when you put your cursor on top of the picture, it will often change into a slightly different, may have a different version. It depends on the version of the operating system, right? And what it means is I can click anywhere on this picture. So here they put in big letters, take the survey now. Click on it, right? And that's going to take me presumably to Amazon.com, right? Would you agree?
Yes.
Should be taking me to Amazon, right? If I get a request to take a survey about Amazon, I wouldn't be expecting it to come from Walmart and vice versa. But when I look at the header now, which nobody ever does, right? Nobody ever looks at the header. Here we see some very interesting information. What do we see? Okay, here's the nickname at the front. Obviously Amazon. Now most people read that and then what? They're done.
Yeah.
Came from Amazon, right? Okay. But we're getting smarter now. We don't look at that. We know that's just, it could be anything. So we look between the two arrows and what do we see? There's the @ sign. What's to the left of the @ sign? Garbage, right? Junk generated by a computer, right? What's to the right of the @ sign? Should be the domain. Now, what domain would we be expecting? Amazon.com, right? What is it actually?
Modern.
Unknown.
Modernstealing.com. I have no idea what the heck that is, but one thing I know for sure, it's not Amazon.com. They're actually telling me, we're going to steal your money, right? But most people don't read it, okay? And also, they're very clever, these guys. I remember I told you how clever they are. Now, most real emails have the unsubscribe. It means I don't want any more emails from you. Now, if this is a valid company, if it is indeed from Amazon or Microsoft or Google or whatever, you can click the unsubscribe and it'll take you off the list. So I used to subscribe to all kinds of news. I'm a news junkie. I'd have 27 news feeds coming to me. After a while, I just got a pain in the neck. It's too much. So I'd go to them like NewYorkTimes.com. Okay, I'm tired of that. I don't want to get any more. Click on the unsubscribe. They will unsubscribe you. Do you think these scammers at modernstealing.com are going to unsubscribe you? Hell no.
No.
Right? In fact, when you click unsubscribe, what's going to happen?
Your email shows up.
They know your email now is a good email. So are you going to get less of this crap or more?
More.
to get more of it, because not only are they going to send you more garbage, they're going to sell it to their buddies. These guys are trading email addresses all the time, right? So now instead of getting only garbage from modernstealing.com, you'll also get garbage from scammersorus.com or whatever, right? So don't even click on the unsubscribe. Now, I'm sure you've all done it. Don't feel bad about it, because, you know, it's a scam. That's what they do, right? They scam us. So, you know, you're not unlike anybody else. Sorry, hang on. There we go.
So Jeff, do you
Yeah.
remember that I told you that I was just online and something just came over like a survey, like the first one you were showing, it said you'll win, I don't know,
Yeah.
$100
$5,000
if you
or
do
whatever.
this.
Right,
And I
right.
couldn't get it off. I couldn't, I couldn't get it off.
You
It
couldn't
would
get
not,
what
I
off?
did not click on it. I did not want it, but it just stayed.
It just kept coming up.
hovered
Now,
over.
good point. Sometimes they manage to get software on your computer, and how they get it doesn't matter right now. And now it starts. I've had one where it said there's a virus on your computer, and then a noise started, like an alarm.
had
I couldn't get rid of it. So usually the only thing you can do is reboot your computer, turn it off. So hit the power button, wait about a minute just for it to clear the memory, and then restart it. Now, if this garbage is still there, and that once happened with one of my sons, we just couldn't get rid of it. Eventually, I had to really dig down deep into the operating system to get rid of it. In your case, either call me and I'll try and help you, or take it to Best Buys or Apple or whatever, depending where you got if it's a Windows computer, take it to a Best Buy store or somebody like that. Or if it's an Apple computer, take it to the Apple store. You may have to pay money to get rid of it. But there are not many of those anymore, because the operating systems are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So Windows is becoming better and better at getting rid of that stuff. It may not happen again, but if it does, turn the computer off, wait 1 minute, boot it up again. And I would say 99 times out of 100, you get rid of it. There is the 1 out of 100 where it comes right back. And then you need, now you need some serious medical attention, right? It's not just a scraped, it's not just a scraped knee. This is serious, right?
Right.
Okay, you've got COVID now. You don't get rid of COVID so easily. Okay, so like I said, we've seen this example. What they're trying to do, they call it phishing. So if you ever see this word phishing with a PH, phishing is throwing out a line and reeling you in, exactly like this cartoon right there. Okay, reeling you in, but the line is in your wallet. Okay, they want to get to your wallet. Okay, so let's keep going. So I say never click on a link. Whatever email you get, do not click on a link, right? Unless you're absolutely sure where it came from. So we saw this one as well. Something about Walmart feedback, but again, look at this one. Look at the address. They want feedback, but it comes from shipping status. That already doesn't make sense. You see that? Okay, but then we've got the garbage name again, generated by computer at namecheap.com. Well, I have not the vaguest idea who or what namecheap.com is, but I know for sure that it isn't what?
Walmart.
It ain't Walmart, right? This here should say what? Walmart.com. Simple as that, okay? So, it doesn't make any sense at all. Notice again, they've got to easily unsubscribe, click here. They try it every time. And, half the people they catch on the clicking on this yellow bar, and the other half they catch on the click here, right? One way or another, they're going to catch you. So don't be the one that they catch. This one is a hard one. Now they're getting really smarter. Notice this one, it says, it looks like you're having trouble logging into Facebook. Click on the button below and we'll log you in. How very helpful of them. I mean, that's so nice of them, isn't it? And many times, we are having trouble getting into Facebook or our bank or something we've forgotten the password or what. How nice of them. But of course, what do? We go to the first line and we look at from Facebook. Most people just read that first word. That's cool. It's from Facebook, right? But in fact, we look at the second. Now, this one says, there's the @ sign. To the left, it says security. That sounds good. It's not that gobbledygook. And where is the domain?
Not Facebook.
Mail.
Is that the same as Facebook?
No.
No. So I said to you, nobody can create their own account in the name of Amazon or Microsoft or Facebook. But what these scheming guys did is they found some third-rate internet service provider who allowed them to create a name of FacebookMail.com. Very similar, right? Will probably fool 99% of people, but it won't fool me, and I hope it won't fool you, right?
Wow.
Isn't that clever?
Even
These
at the
guys are
bottom,
smart. That's why I
where it
say
says-
don't answer the phone. They're too smart for you. They're too smart for me, right? I don't answer the phone. I take my own advice because I know that they'll beat me. If I answer that phone, they're going to get into my wallet somehow or another, right? See that? Isn't that clever? So read it very carefully.
But even at the bottom where they have that, let us know, won't that do the same thing? It will give you it would give them your email or something. Right here, right, go up a little bit more.
Let us
Right.
know. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's
very
gonna
good
do the
question. You
same
see it's
thing.
blue. What is
It's
letter? You say,
same thing.
I wasn't trying to log in. This must be a mistake. I click on this. I'm going to let them know. What do you think is going to happen if you click on let us know? You'll
On
end up
that,
in
they're gonna
exactly the
ask
same
you for your
place, right?
password.
They're either going to hit you with the right hand, or if you duck the punch when they hit you with the right hand, what are they going to do? They hit you with the left hand, right? But one way or another, you're going down. See how clever they are? These guys are. If they're so smart. If they spend their time on a decent job or a decent company, they can make real money. But they make much more money by scamming senior. Okay, so here's this one after the Equifax breach. I love this one because it doesn't look. It's true. Equifax was breached. Are you one of the 143 million? Yeah, I am. I'm worried about it. Well, free credit click. This sounds great. Get 3 free scores. It all looks perfect, doesn't it? But what happens when we look here? Your score check. That sounds good to me. What do you see next? Well, the name before the @ sign is contact. That doesn't mean anything, right? Could be anything. But what do you see after the @ sign?
Junk.
Gobbledygook, right? And then remember this last few letters, AOLEA.US. I don't know what that is.
Right.
It ain't a free credit score, right?
Right.
How clever it is, right?
Right.
And then I showed you this one here. Who they targeting here? Medical alert bracelets. Who is this
Right.
aimed at?
Seniors.
Also seniors.
Right. Either it's aimed directly at us, or they're aiming to try get it to your kids or or somebody, your relations who know you, that you're a senior and you're living alone, and we better click on this and get on Martha one of these badges, right? So it's aimed directly at us. But again, look at this. Medical alerts. That sounds good. Again, notice the same contact. That's interesting, isn't it? At blah, blah, blah garbage. What do you see right at the end? AOLEA.US. Do you remember that from the previous one?
Yeah.
It's coming from the same scammers, right? Do you see that? Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to just move on from here. This is a really good one. I got this one. I actually got it from order update at Amazon.com. Now notice this is between the quote marks. So this looks like an email address, right? But it's not. Remember, what's in the quotes is a nickname. It can be anything. But these clever guys made it look like an email address. You see that? But let's look to the right. There's the left arrow. Order update at Amazon. ... What did the ... mean? They can't fit the whole thing on the page. So they carefully arranged it. This address here is probably at AmazonMail.com or something. There's something beyond the Amazon. But can you see how carefully they constructed it so that I don't see what's in those dot. So is this Amazon.com? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Now, this is very clever. Read this. It's written to me, Jeff Kalbrisky at earthlink.net. Your order has been canceled. Here's the summary of your order. You just canceled order number 138, blah, 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 placed on that date, da-da. What is the average person going to do when they get this email? What would you do?
I'll contact
What do you
them.
say? Did you cancel an order?
I called.
No, did you cancel an order? No.
No.
You think there's some mistake. So what's the natural thing, the tendency to do? Go click on this number, right? To see what the order is. They got the wrong name. So notice they didn't tell me to click on the link. They're getting inside my mind, inside my brain, because they know that the average person will say, that's strange. I don't remember. Well, maybe my wife did it, right? Or maybe my daughter did it. Let me just go check, right? So you click on this link and then what happens?
You're in.
Got in the car, right? Isn't that ingenious?
Yeah.
Another trick here. Notice at the bottom, Amazon, it sends, they sign at Amazon.com, Earth's biggest selection. Notice the email address, the web address down below. www.amazon.com. That really is the web address for Amazon.com. But that address is wrong. You see in the front here, these 4 letters, HTTP.
S.
Stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Doesn't matter what it means. All web addresses have that.
No S.
But there's no S. It should be HTTPS. Amazon, as a real company, will always be encrypting your messages. And the S, the secure, is what makes it encrypt. They made this look right, but they made a mistake. I would look straight at this and realize that whoever wrote this was not Amazon.com. See? So there are lots of little hints, but you have to look for them. Now, this, if you clicked on this link here, where does it take you? Well, you can't tell. You just got in the car with a nice man. Where is he going to take you? I don't know, but it ain't a good place, right? Well, I know I'm now going to show you how to find out where this is actually going. And this, I guarantee you, your 14-year-old grandson or the 16-year-old genius kid next door doesn't know. This URL is the web address, goes to this. HTTP, that's already a worry, right? Because not secure. / what? What's the address? www.lshoes.ru. Now, what the heck is lshoes? Does anybody know what .ru means? Well,
No.
for most countries in the world, there's a 2-letter country code. The US actually has .us, but because we invented the internet, we don't care about that. But technically, you should use .us. This is .ru, which is
Russia.
Russia.
Wow.
So you just got into my car and I took you to Russia. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to go to Russia. Not today, maybe some other time. See that? Now, notice this thing that's over here, this I put on, I've added on. It wasn't in the email. All you've got in the email is this blue underlined number. And if you click on it, bingo, you land up at lshoes.russia and game over, okay? Game over. So you see how clever this is. Here's another one, Earthlink, right? Blah, 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 due to security. Now, this one's a good one. I want to show you more stuff if you read these things. Read this first paragraph. This paragraph here, just read it.
Yeah.
What do you see about it? Do you see anything interesting?
Nigeria?
You come from Nigeria.
Now, what's interesting? Read the paragraph carefully.
Yeah.
Well, there are all kinds of clues here.
Well,
You see this? You see the space in front of the comma.
Yeah.
You
The-
see that
the
after the
grammar
comma
is
there
off.
should be a space, but there isn't a space. Do you
Right.
notice that every word is capitalized? Do you write like that? Nobody
No.
does, right? due to 10 invalid attempts to access your account from Nigeria. Now read the next paragraph.
Deleted
Does that-
from our database.
Bad English.
Has been.
Your account informations, what does that mean, right? Has been deleted from our database for security reasons. Notice the space again before the period. It's real sloppy. This was written by somebody who probably does not, what?
Speak English.
Speak English, right? Now, also it doesn't make sense. 10,
Right.
you know, there've been 10 attempts to access your account from Nigeria, and they've deleted your account from the database. Why would they do that, right? Just because somebody tried to rob my bank doesn't mean they can close my bank account, right? It doesn't make sense. But people read it, and what happens? Hair on fire. Oh my God, right? I've got to fix this. And very nicely they say, well, we can help you unlock the account. Just do what?
Click.
Click here. And remember, always remember Jeff's advice. Click is a 4-letter word. Right? That's a word you don't use in polite company because you are going to land in trouble. Okay. Here's another interesting thing. Look at the to address. Who can see what's the to address? See the to? T-O?
Oh, with
What?
the
What's after the to?
it doesn't.
Nothing. It's blank.
Yeah.
Now, how could it get to me if the to address is blank? Well, that means that they sent this to a whole lot of people and they put the to addresses in the BCC, you know, the blind copy. You
Yeah.
can do that with, so if I send out an email to a whole lot of people, I usually put your addresses in the BCC so that it doesn't tell one person what the other one's
Right.
address is. It keeps everybody private.
Right.
But this is Earthlink telling me there's a problem with my account. Why would they have put my address in this BCC? Only if they're sending it out to 100 guys called Jeff, right? Or something. See that? See how? So there's a lot of information in here. Notice, by the way, they carefully copied the Earthlink logo and all kinds of stuff from the Earthlink website. So the fact that it's got all the right stuff, the Amazon logo or the Earthlink logo or the Walmart logo, doesn't mean anything. I'll show you guys one day, not now, how easy it is. I can copy the Earthlink logo in 5 seconds flat. See that?
Yeah.
Like making a Xerox copy. It's as hard as making a Xerox copy. Okay, so let's keep going. Here's another one. There are sexual predators in your neighborhood. Oh my God, I've got children. I've got grandchildren. I better know what's going on here. Notice my name in huge letters. Okay, what do you see? From sex offender alerts. That sounds about right, but we know that's junk, right? We look between the brackets. So, aha, in front of the @ sign is what?
Nothing.
The usual
That makes
garbage.
sense.
And then behind it is @Thompson REU. And again, ... doesn't fit in. Well, in this particular case, it's actually really interesting that Thomson Reuters, REUTERS, is a valid company. It's a big company, right?
Is this Reuters?
What's
Is
that?
that what that is? Is it Reuters?
Reuters, yeah, REUTERS, actually pronounced Reuters. It's
Oh,
German, right?
Reuters, right.
Yeah, but
Reuters.
Reuters, yeah. But if you click on this link here, right? Well, sorry, this one says it really is 7ENM4XLI, blah, 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 at thomsonreuters.com. You see that? It's a legitimate company. Well, first of all, they got nothing to do with sex trafficking. They're a publishing house or something. I don't even remember what they are.
Economics.
Huh? Or, yeah, they're a real company. So how can that be? Well, they got hacked because the link address, you see this address here where I click, I understand and I want to proceed. See that? It resolves to this. This is the actual address that you can see. HTTP, aha, as soon as you see HTTP already, it's a warning, right? Trafficconception.au2.com. Do you know what that is?
No.
I don't. And then it's followed by
Junk.
gobbledygook, right? So you see, it's got nothing to do with you know, if it was a real thing, it should come from the FBI or somebody, right? Telling me there's predators in my neighborhood. Not that they would ever send this out. They wouldn't send it out in the first place. But notice here that this link, if you click on this link, this is where you're going to. trafficconception.au2.com. I have no idea what it is. Why do the bad guys use HTTP and not HTTPS, do you think?
Because
Notice here,
they think you-
HTTP usually is a giveaway. Why don't they put the S on it? Just one letter.
They think you won't notice that it's missing.
No, well, that's true. But the real reason is that to get the HTTPS, you need to pay money, right? You need to make your servers secure. So Amazon servers are secure, and Apple servers have been secured, and Google servers are secured. They paid money, as much as $600 per server. Google may have 10,000 servers, and they may have paid $600 for each one of them. A lot of money, right? Do you think the scammer is going to waste his money on this garbage when, you know, on being secure, when you probably, as Bernita said, you're probably going to miss it anyway. Most people are not going to notice the missing it. See that?
Yeah.
See that? Interesting, huh? Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to skip on because I want to get to the next thing. Oh, this one I love. Right. Jeff Galveriski, you have a new sweetheart. Oh boy, I finally got lucky, right? Yeah, you know, start your free trial. Look at this beautiful girl, right? She's waiting for me to come and date her, right? So what do? We go and look at the first line, right? The header. From Victoria Brides. Oh, that sounds great. I'm looking for a bride, right? All right. This is my lucky day. Then we look between the arrows and what do we see? What's this? Junk, right? Garbage.
They mixed
At
up zero.
What's after the at sign?
.in.
Naidu.in. Well, I don't know. That doesn't look like anything to do with free brides or adult dating or anything, does it? Does anybody know what the .in is?
Is it India?
India. Right. Remember the .ru was Russia? Well, this one's in India. Do you want to get in my car and let me take you to India? I hope not. Because otherwise you're going to get into real trouble. And it looks here, start your free trial. Just click on this link. What can possibly go wrong, right? That's what people think. I just got to click on the link. If it doesn't work out, I'll cancel it. No. By the time you've clicked on that link, they've downloaded software on your computer or they've done something that you don't want to happen to you, okay? So this link here, by the way, yes, here's I tracked it again. What do you see about this link? First of all, HTTP. See it every time. Profbuilder.com. Now, Profbuilder is an actual real company. They build software for professionals. Professional software builders, where they are. So how come this is going to profbuilder.com? Because profbuilder.com got hacked, right? Their company got hacked. And it is now sending this crap out to everybody in that company's email address list. See that? But this is, it's eventually you will be, what you see the word redirection here? You'll go to profbuilder.com, but it'll immediately send you to Naidu in India or God knows where. See that? So it looks complicated, but it's actually quite simple.
So Jeff, I have a question back on that. On those company names that you checked, did you actually click on those and find out the information in
No. What's Jeff's rule number one on the internet?
Don't click. But
If you click on something and you tell me you clicked on it, what am I going to do? I'm going to ask you to put your finger on the table, and I'm going to bring out my axe, and I'm going to chop that finger right off, right? So that you never click again. No, just obviously kidding there, right? Just kidding. No, don't click on it. I'm going to show you now how to find it. Okay, so let's look at this one. Health check. Blood clot filters, blah, 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 blah. Learn more. All I have to do is, what do I have to do?
Click on the red.
Click on this link. How hard can that be? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to find out where it actually goes. Now listen carefully and be sure you know what you're doing before you use this trick. So either here where it says learn more, or down below where it says unsubscribe here, if you put your cursor right over it, like I'm doing here, or like I'm doing down below, don't click, just put your cursor there. A little box will open up. Can you see this little box?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to make it bigger now so it's easier to read. A little box will open up telling you where it actually is going to go. So let's make it a bit bigger. There we go. Right? And this is actually where this, when you click on unsubscribe here, and almost certainly when you click on learn more, you're going to, what do the first 4 letters tell you?
No.
No, HTTP, I don't want to go there, right? / what company? Well, I don't know. I can't pronounce that. It's in a funny language. I don't know if you can pronounce it, right? And what's the .ga?
Georgia? The
Which
country,
Georgia?
The country,
Georgia?
Georgia. The
The country in Eastern Europe is Georgia,
Yeah.
not the one we live in, right? This ain't taking you to Atlanta or Sandy Springs, Georgia. This is taking you to Eastern Europe, Georgia. A bunch of criminals there. And what's behind the Georgia? Immediately, you always see this. See this garbage? That's an immediate giveaway. So, how do you find out where this is going? Just put your cursor on top of it, okay? Do not click. That's why this is dangerous, because you might forget and click. But if you really want to know where it's going, and then for sure you know that it's a scam, because this tells me right away. Doesn't matter what they put in the email address, they may fool me there with Amazon.com or some name. This tells me for sure where it's going. So again, let me one more time. Watch what I'm doing with my cursor. I'm putting it right over where it says learn more, or I'm putting it right over where it says unsubscribe here. And that little thing will pop up right away. Okay?
I have a question.
Yeah.
This is on the phone though, but I got something that says, dear subscriber, your support plan will renew in 24 hours. You will be charged for $299.99 to cancel. Call us at, and it has the number, and it has Geek Squad. Now I have nothing to do
so it's
with
got
any-
this is a great one. We've charged you $300. What's your first inclination if somebody tells you they charge you $300? What? I didn't
I
buy
already
that.
know.
What are you talking about?
Yes,
My hair's on
yes.
fire. Let me get this fixed up. There's a mistake. Okay, so of course nobody's charged you anything.
No.
What they want you to do is either click on a link or call their number. Now, if you call that number, what do you think is going to happen?
They're going to know that my number is a good number.
First of all, they know it's a good number, which is bad already. Secondly, there's going to be some really nice person on the end of the line, and they're going to say, I'm terribly sorry, ma'am. Let me look it up for you. And then there'll be a long story and blah, 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 and bleedy, blah, 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 blah. You can't imagine the stories they've got, right? So once you are on the phone with them, what? You're back in the car again, right? You're in the nice man's car. So again, who did this pretend to come from? Where did they say they came from? Amazon or what?
No, Geek Squad.
which is a part of
Geek Squad. Yeah. Now you know why they use Geek Squad? Because Geek Squad is a
legitimate.
well-known company that fixes computers, right? It's actually Best Buys. But Geek Squad's not going to send you an email saying we just charged $300 to your account. Doesn't make any sense, right? So again, you go online, you go to geeksquad.com or bestbuys.com, and you look up the number and you call them, and they'll tell you, no, it didn't happen. Now, one last point there. How do you see these numbers on your phone? And the exact same thing will happen. At the bottom line on your phone, the actual address, this funny address here, will pop up, right? So you can see it on your phone too. But whatever I'm telling you about on your computer applies to your phone. So if you get an email on your phone, should you click on the link?
No.
Hell no. Not no. Hell no. Right? It's not no, it's hell no. Right? Because if you click on the link, what am I going to do?
You're in.
I'm going to chop off that finger, right? Okay. All right. Let's move on now because I've got plenty more examples, but I want to get to one. So another thing is, sorry, one last point here as well. We're running a little over, but if you don't mind, we'll keep on going because I got some stuff that I want to tell you. Right. So emails can also have attachments. You know, you can have a picture attached or a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet. You'll see the attachment, right? So the email might say, hey, look at these great pictures I took at the Christmas party, or, you know, last time we were together. And there's a file there and you click on it. You're toast, right? If that is a bad file and it's got bad software on, which it may have hidden in it, you're toast, right? They've got you. So don't click on links and don't click on attachments unless you're sure. So like when you get, when I send you the, the slides for this class, you'll get an attachment, right? And you double click on the attachment and it opens up. But I've just said, don't click on links. So what about the link that comes from me? Well, I'll make that file a PDF. You'll see it's a .pdf file. And that is the one type of attachment you can click on because it cannot be fiddled with. PDF file is like it's written in indelible ink, you know, ink that can't be rubbed out. They can't make any changes, but any other kind of file, they can add bad things onto the file. But a PDF is pretty safe. I won't say it's 100% safe because nothing's 100% in this world, but it's 99.9% safe. That's why I don't send you the PowerPoint slides, right? I could send you the PowerPoint slide, but if somebody intercepted that, they could take my PowerPoint file, add some stuff on the back, and then when you open the file, kapow, it'll do you some damage. But a PDF, to the best of my knowledge, not that I know everything, but to the best of my knowledge, can't be modified, right? So a PDF, this one here, .pdf is, you know, the good one. Be very careful if people send you a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, or anything like that, or a movie, videos, photographs. These can be dangerous. Make sure you know where it's coming from. So, yeah, I know that we send photographs all the time, you know, to our friends, our family, whatever. We got together over Christmas or New Year's or whatever, and not so much these days, but when we did, we send photographs that can be dangerous. You have to be very careful. So, like I said, if you do click on something, you know, notice your hair, this lady's hair is on fire. Oh my God, what did I do? The best thing is turn off your computer as fast as you can. It may be too late already, but at least you stop whatever's going on, it will stop. And you turn off your computer. And if you're still not sure, you can contact me or take it to Best Buys or something like that. Maybe nothing's happened, or maybe yes, they have they put bad stuff on your computer. So what I say is download this free program. It's called Malwarebytes, right? You can download the free version, and Malwarebytes, you can use it to scan your computer. It looks for bad stuff. I run a Malwarebytes scan on my computer about once a week. And it usually always comes back and it says, I didn't find anything wrong, okay? Where to find Malwarebytes? You go to malwarebytes.com and you can click on the free download here and it'll download the software and it's for free. Am I not breaking my own rules? I just said to you, free download. And I said, click. Now, you see the difference here is you went to malwarebytes.com. It's not from an email. You know where you went. And Malwarebytes is a good company. It's not a scammer. So if they've got a free download or a button on their site, unless they've been hacked, which is not impossible, but unlikely, that is probably safe to do. See that? Notice the difference. Clicking on email, you may or may not go to Malwarebytes, or you may land up in Russia or India. But if you typed in www.malwarebytes.com and you downloaded the software, it's going to work. See that?
So Jeff, where they have free download and buy now, and underneath there says, what's the difference? What is the difference?
Well, the difference is you can buy it or you can get the free one. The free one has the free one hasn't got all the fancy features that the buy has got. But I'm a cheapskate. It works fine for me, right?
That's all I wanted to know.
That's it. It works fine for me. Okay, so now I want to talk about passwords, and I'm going to skip ahead because you should read these slides. They're very useful on good passwords and bad passwords and so on. I don't have time to do it, unfortunately, but I want to get to answer Pamela's question. Okay, so I've given you all the rules in there, how to define passwords that no one will ever guess, that aren't the same for every website, because now we've got 47 different passwords. I've shown you in these previous slides how to come up with unique passwords that are different, but that have the unique ability that you can remember them, right? I will never guess them, but for you, it'll be easy to remember. It sounds unbelievable. It is true. I've been doing it for years. Read the previous slides, right? So now I just want to, where do I store my passwords? Okay, so Pamela, we won't get all of this done, but if you look at these slides from slide number 58 onwards, you'll see where it is, right? So where do I store my passwords? There are pieces of software that will do it for you. Here are a few of them on this first bullet: RoboForm, Dashlane, KeepPass, Password Manager Pro, and blah, 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 blah. The one I like is roboform.com. This one here, the first one, there's the address at the bottom, www.roboform.com. The basic version is free. That may not apply anymore. They may have now taken the free version away. But the live version is not expensive. It costs you a few dollars a month. So you don't even have to lay out $100 or $200. I think you pay them $3 a month or something. And basically, let me tell you how it works, and then we're done. RoboForm now sits on your computer, right? And it builds a secure database on your computer, encrypted database with all your passwords on. And only you can unlock that database. So you need one good password to unlock the database, which you must remember. So I have a very strong password, 12 characters long or something. Nobody will ever guess it. Once I can open that file, it's like you've got a lockbox in your house and only you've got the key of the lockbox. Once you open it, this clever piece of software recognizes when you're at a website that wants an ID and password. So if you go to your bank or the IRS and it says ID and password, RoboForm, this clever guy, will pop up instantly and says, do you want me to fill this in for you? And you say yes. And it says, well, I remember when you set up your account at bankofamerica.com, you set it up as your ID was your account number, 1234567, and your password was blah, 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 whatever it was. And it fills it in and you're done, right? Isn't that clever? So notice here, I just filled in I said, sign in with an email. So you set yourself up right at the beginning, the first time with RoboForm, with your email address. Here's my email address. Then you have a password. Obviously, this has only got 4 characters. My real password's got a lot more than 4 characters. But this is the only password I ever have to remember. And I sign in. I'm now logged into RoboForm, and it opens the lockbox. So now when I go to, let's say my webmail, here's Earthlink's webmail. So I say, I want to go to the webmail, right? Which means I can read my email on the web. So even if I'm not at my computer, I'm at your house on your computer, I can still get to my email. I can do it on the internet, right? On the web. It says your email address and password. Now I remember my email address, but I don't remember the damn password, right? Anybody ever been in that position? Right? All the time. Okay. As soon as, so even the first time I use RoboForm, it pops up here and it says, give me the master password. That's the password that unlocks the lockbox. So that's the only password you need to remember. Have a really good password. Go back and look at the previous slides. I'll tell you how to come up with a really good password. I unlock this now. Okay. I'll fill in my master password and oops. Immediately, it will fill in the email address and the password, and all I have to do is click sign in. On some websites, it even does the sign in for you. It clicks the button for you. It'll automatically fill these in because the email address and the password, the ID and the password for this website, www. whatever, right? It knows this is the address, this is your ID, and this is your password. It fills them in, right? And the password is you can't even read it. It's it's little X's or dots. So if somebody even is looking over your shoulder, they'll see that they can read your ID, your email address in this case, but the password will not be readable. It'll just have XXXXX or something like that, right? But instantly it will log itself in. Now, I looked the other day, I haven't done it lately. I looked the other day and I find I have about 500 passwords in there because I've been doing this for years. Most of those websites I haven't been to for 10 years and I'll probably never go there again. They've probably gone out of business. I could care less. It's in the lockbox. It doesn't cost me anything. You see that? But when I go to Amazon.com, when I go to mybank.com, when I go to irs.gov or socialsecurity.gov or webmail, Earthlink webmail, all of these real sites that I go to, which is only probably 20 or 30, it knows the password. The rest, I could go in and delete the old ones, not worth the trouble, right? You see that? There's no limit on how many passwords you can have. It works like a dream. There is nothing to install. Now, one last point and then I'm done. See this yellow circle over here? RoboForm can also create passwords for you. So when you go to a new website, let's say the first time you ever go to Walmart.com, and Walmart.com says, would you like to sign up? And you say, yes, I would. And you come to the sign up form and it says email and password. Clever RoboForm will pop up and say, you haven't been to this website before. Would you like to create RoboForm, to create a password for you? And if you say yes, RoboForm will create a password about this long, about 15 characters long, right? And you think, how the hell am I ever going to remember 15 characters long? But the beauty is I don't have to remember it, right? Who's going to remember that long password?
RoboForm.
RoboForm. So the password it will generate will be something like APQ1 exclamation point question mark PRLZ193. Now some gobbledygook, but it'll be yay long. Now, will a hacker ever guess a 12 or 15 character long password? It's impossible, right? But the beauty is that you don't have to even remember that password. So I have a friend, he's an elderly guy. He keeps all his passwords written down, but he kept losing them and forgetting them. So I reset him up with RoboForm and we generated passwords for every website. So he now doesn't even know his password to his bank and his doctor and the IRS and whatever. He doesn't even know them anymore. I told him, take that list that you had before and throw it away. Threw it away. Now, he's now got 40 websites he goes to, his bank and this and that and the other, and he doesn't even care what the password is. Isn't that clever?
Yeah.
And I'll leave you with that. RoboForm, as I say, I think now their new model is $3 a month or something like that. In my mind, it's the best value for money because how many times you go to a website and you can't remember the darn password? Or you've got them all written down and you either haven't got access to it because you're out of town or you're at somebody else's house, or you've lost the darn list, right? Or you forgot to write this one down. All of the human errors that we make, RoboForm does away with it. So I don't get anything out of this. I'm not selling their software, but you can use any one of the others that I gave you. They all work more or less the same. I've been using RoboForm for at least 10 years. Oh, by the way, RoboForm works on your phone and your computer. So once you tell it your ID and password, your main, this one here, the big password, the master password, you can actually go and log in from your phone and it will work on your phone too. And you don't have to enter it twice because it knows it's recording all your passwords, and they actually, they've got them locked up, highly encrypted. So don't even, the chances that someone else now could get your password I won't say zero, nothing's zero in this world, nothing's 100%, but it's very unlikely they'll ever be able to, anybody will get at your password. So notice how neatly we've solved the problem. We've made the password stronger, and we've done away with the need to remember those, 42 different passwords. Does that answer your question, Pamela?
Yes, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Okay, any questions? We haven't finished. There's plenty more to come, and you can read the slides, but we've run out of weeks and we've run out of hours.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Do you feel a little more secure now?
More empowered, yes.
More empowered. One more
Yeah.
thing, let me mention. I have slides on it, but I'll just mention it now. There's a thing called two-factor authentication. It's a fancy schmancy term. What it means is to get into your most websites, you need what they call one factor. That's the secret password, right? But if I get hold of your secret password, then you're toast, right? I can now log into your bank and rip off your bank account. So many of the better companies like banks and so on are moving to what's called two-factor authentication. So in order to do, let's say I use an online system for do my taxes, right? When I log in, it says, what's your ID and password? I need to know them. But then it doesn't let me in. It sends a secret number to my cell phone. I'll get a text on my phone that says, the secret number is 16425. I then go back to the online and I've already entered my ID and password, but it says, what's the secret number? And I enter 16425 and it logs me in. Now, why is that better security? If I stole your ID and password, which I might be able to get, I don't have your phone. You see that? That's the second factor. So not only to log in, not only do you need to know the ID and password, you need to have this thing, right? So if ever I get a message on my phone that says, this is the secret number for the IRS, but I didn't log into the IRS, right? What do I know?
No good.
Somebody's logging in on my name, but I've got the phone, they don't have it. So I don't even have to worry who it is. They can't get in because I got them. What I would do right away anyway is I would go change my password, right? Just to be safe. But they can't get in without the second factor, and using the phone is a very clever idea because most of us have our phone with us at all times, right? So you'll just get an ordinary text. If I can find one.
They usually tell you it's a code, and you put the code number in, and that's what they use to authenticate it.
Okay, can you guys read this? Can you see it? Can you see there on my phone? It says HR Block, which is the guys I do my taxes with. Blah, blah, blah. Your unique verification code is 9528235. That's what it says here. Now, why am I telling you that secret code? Now you can log into my taxes, right?
No.
No, why not?
Because you just
It
put in
only
that
worked one
code
time.
there.
They only use it once.
5
Got it.
minutes after they send that to me, that number doesn't work. So if I log in again tomorrow to my taxes, what happens?
They
I
send
get
you
a
the
different number. The number itself
Yeah.
means nothing. That I can tell you the number. It's not going to help you at all, right? Because it's only active for a few minutes. So you can be sure on your bank, if you do your banking online, like most of us do, you like to look at your bank balance or whatever, or the IRS or your social security account, it's good to have second factor authentication. It doesn't cost you anything, and it lowers the chance that anybody will get into your bank account or your social security or your Medicare or whatever. Got it? I'm sorry I'm bombarding you with stuff today, but I'm trying to give you as much as I can before we run out of time.
Thank you. That has helped me a lot.
I'm glad. Again, you've got my email address. If you have any questions or thoughts on this or something you don't remember or don't understand, just send me an email and I will promise to answer you as soon as I can.
Thank you so much.
Indeed.
Jeff, this is Judy.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Multitasking today. are you going to send us the slides?
Well, only if you send me an email.
Okay, I will.
I don't send the slides to everybody because then I never
Okay.
know who's got it and that. So send me an
Okay.
email. You've got my email address. Did you see my email
I do.
address? So just
Yes,
send me an
I
email.
emailed you
Mention
before.
which
Okay.
class it is, because sometimes I've had emails
Oh,
where people say,
okay.
send me the slides, but I got 5 or 6 different classes. So say it's the security
Okay.
class, and I will send you
Okay.
these very slides that we're looking at, right?
Okay. And I'm still nervous about the where you get your credit report.
Yeah.
Did you all go over that? The exactly. I guess I just use the same techniques that you've been telling us. Look up there at the top between the brackets and
Yes.
stuff.
Well,
Because
no,
they say usually
don't,
annual credit
no,
report.com.
stop. Don't get your credit report in response to an email. Do not. If you want your credit report, go to the credit bureaus yourself, right? So Equifax is the biggest credit bureau. So if you go to equifax.com online, there'll be a button somewhere that says get your credit report. And the federal government kicks their butt. They didn't like to do this, but the federal government for once is on our side. Federal government says you can get your credit report from Equifax and TransUnion and all of them. There are 3 of them. You can get 1 copy per year for free, right?
Right.
So if you, it's a good idea, you know, once or twice a year to go and look at your credit report, just to make sure there's no, you know, somebody bought a fridge on your credit. You say, I didn't buy a fridge. I didn't buy a car.
Right.
That's not me. At least you'll see it there. Or they may have wrong information. They may have information that says, you know, you defaulted on a loan. I never defaulted on a loan. Yeah, it's somebody with the same name or some stupid error. But you go to Equifax.com or TransUnion.com, and I forget what the third one is, right?
Okay.
They have to, each of them has to give you 1 free credit report. Do not respond to an email, because the email 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100 is a fake.
Okay.
See that?
Okay. Okay.
Don't click on links. Don't click on links.
Okay. So like with the annualcreditreport.com, they always talk about it on TV or radio or Clark Howard or whatever.
Right. That's fine. That's fine. You know, if you've got a good name from somebody you trust, like Clark Howard, or you trust me, and I tell you, as long as you are typing in the address on the web, you're not clicking on a link, because the link is going to take you to somewhere that may not be the credit. If you typed in freecreditreport.com or whatever it's called, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay. Okay.
See that? In other words, you didn't get in my car, you drove there in your own car. You see that?
Right.
See the difference?
Yeah, so I know where I am.
If you go there by yourself, you know almost certainly you're doing okay. If you follow a link, you don't know where that link is going, not a good idea. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great weekend, guys. And
this has been awesome.
Keep the questions coming. And if you like the courses, send an email to Benson. And hopefully we can then do some more courses like this. I'd like to have an advanced security course actually, and go into some more details.
We have Benson's email on the schedule to email him.
Yeah. Or you can let me see.
Oh, we have to send it to DSS.
Just a second. You know, the right person to send it to is the lady who runs Benson. Her name is Sabrina Hudson. So her email address, if you have a pencil, is Sabrina, SABRINA .Hudson, HUDSON, at FultonCountyGA.gov, or very long, all one word, no hyphens or dashes. FultonCountyGA.gov. That's her email address. And, send her an email, say you enjoyed the class, or, if you got any criticisms, tell her or let me know. But if you did, it's good for her to know, because then she can get budget from Fulton County for more courses.
Awesome.
She's the one who can do that. And I really would like to develop a more advanced course for those who've done this course and understand that there are a whole lot more things that I could teach you about how to stay safe. But if you remember what we discussed today, and that we did a lot, unfortunately, the chances that somebody can hack you or steal your money or anything like that is, again, it's not zero, but it's vastly reduced, right? Vastly reduced. If you just even stop clicking on links or answering the phone when you don't recognize the number, you're already 100% better than you were last week. You know what I mean?
Wow. This has been awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure to teach you guys. Have a great weekend,
You too.
and I'll see you on a future course.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good weekend and a happy Valentine's, everybody.
Yeah, you too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Bye.
Yeah, so I won't click on it if somebody send me an email, Jeff, that I got a free Valentine's.
Yeah, and you know, often if you're not sure, you can forward the email to me. Just
Okay.
forward the email to
Okay.
my email address and say, Jeff, what do you think of this? And I'll give you an
Right.
answer, right?
Okay. All
But
right.
don't click on anything. You can forward it. You can read the email yourself. You can forward it to me, but don't click on the link.
Don't click on the link.
Don't
Okay.
click on it. Bye.
Yeah, that's major. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.